I think maybe the thesis question of this channel is, can a 50-year-old white dude, old school hip hop head who started listening in the 80s connect with today's hip hop? Or maybe the better question is, has hip hop grown alongside the old hip hop heads in a way that they can still connect? I think the answer is yes. I've had a lot of arguments with my peers over the last several years about whether or not hip hop is dead, whether it's trash. I don't think it is at all. I think there are a lot of new artists who are brilliant, are doing things better than the old school did. I think hip hop is in a better place than it's ever been from my vantage point, which admittedly is outside of the culture and further removed from the culture than I was in my 20s and 30s, when I was participating more. I love this culture. I'm not of this culture. So I'm just looking in. And one of the people I've really connected with recently is Ray Vaughn. Just something about his story, something about the way he raps, something about the way his earnestness in his songs I really connected with. And I found him admittedly because of the Kendrick and Drake beef. I found him based off of I found him admittedly after the Joey Badass West Coast shots. When Ray Vaughn released Crash Out Heritage, and I saw a bunch of people reacting to it online. I went to watch it myself, did a reaction to it here on the channel, and that was my introduction to Ray Vaughn. Since then, I've listened to everything he's put out, and I love his storytelling. I've gone back and listened to his freestyles. I think the LA Leakers freestyle was mind-blowing, one of the best I've ever heard. I wake up today and I see a new Ray Vaughn song, Dollar Menu. What's up, everybody? I'm Chris, Old Head Dad, and we are about to check out the new Ray Vaughn. Let's get into it. Dollar Menu. Whatever this building in the background is, there's two things happening here that I really love. By having this slowed down, pitched down voice, I can hear him saying dollar menu. I think it says save my life. That's all I can really understand at this point. But then having this building low tone coming in, I'm already paying attention because I'm trying to hear the lyrics, and then I get this big building tone that's making me anticipate something. I love that.
Here you go. Hey, what's up, bro? What you want to do?
Dollar me, you save my life. Maybe everything gon' be alright. 10-piece, but my mama didn't eat that night. Promise I'ma keep it 99 cents for life.
That, but my mama didn't eat that night, reminded me of Domino Ghetto Jam. I think that's what it was. It was either, I get the two confused. It was either Domino Ghetto Jam or Paperboy Diddy from back in like mid 90s, maybe 92, 93, something like that. Remind me of that same sort of flow, cadence. And I've always associated those two with the West Coast. I'm not entirely sure that's where they're from, but that's where I associate them. And I love that he builds it up. You get this somebody ordering, and then it drops out, and then the beat comes in. That's just really a really great way to get the listener engaged.
Night I had sleep for dinner.
Whoa.
For dinner. Like last night I had sleep for dinner.
Last night I had sleep for dinner.
For dinner. Mama, okay.
All right, before we get into this verse, last night I had sleep for dinner is a really brilliant phrase. Maybe that comes from somewhere else. Maybe he's pulling that from a common vernacular. I don't know. But being a kid who left home at 16, I know that feeling. And I've done that a lot of times. And I know that a lot of people, especially the people who tend to connect with hip hop, or at least did in the early days, and there's a lot of that built in. I mean, this is a Black culture that was built on struggle to be a voice for voiceless people. So speaking to that struggle is in the DNA of hip hop. And this, all I had was sleep for dinner, really brilliant way to say that without just saying I've been struggling.
Mama alky, stepped at a fiend, know how to sell drugs, know how to sell dreams. Age of 14, I was doing my own thing. But mama, I'm hungry. Cause last night I had sleep for dinner. In my conscious way.
He's playing with his voice here in a really cool way. And I have to think there's some Kendrick influence there. He is TDE, or he's being influenced from the same places Kendrick is. I mean, he's from the same places. So there's some of that influence there. And I love to be able to hear that in an artist, to know where they're from, to understand who they are. That's something I appreciate about hip hop that maybe doesn't happen as much in other genres, is that I can get a sense of region from the person. And that's something I like. And generally speaking, when I don't get a sense of where that person is from, I'm not able to connect in the same way. Like if Snoop wasn't obviously West Coast, would he be as good? I'm not sure. And maybe that's why I don't connect with a lot of the lyricists. Like I recognize their brilliance, but I don't necessarily connect with their songs because they're so technically oriented. I never get a sense of place and a sense of who they are. I get that from Ray Vaughn immediately in all of his songs.
More than me, from the women I hurt, from the people I leave, from the fires I feed. Find a job on Indeed, cause last night I only had sleep for dinner. In Hell's Kitchen with the recipe for this.
I like that he keeps coming back to this "I only had sleep for dinner" phrase. Like I said, it's just a really great visual of somebody going to bed hungry. And hungry can be used a couple of different ways. I went to bed hungry. I went to bed hungry because I couldn't afford to eat. I went to bed hungry for more of this success that I'm seeing, more of this thing that I'm building. So I think there's a couple ways to see sleep for dinner means I'm hungry. I'm still hungry. There are a couple of lyrics in here I really loved. 10-piece, but my mama didn't eat that night. Promise I'm gonna keep it 99 cent for life. I love the dollar menu, 99 cent. Instead of I'm going to keep it 100, I'm going to keep it 99 cent for life. I'm going to be frugal. I'm going to be realistic. I don't need to have the extravagant things. I also like the know how to sell drugs, know how to sell dreams line. Know how to sell dreams could be looked at as a negative thing, like I'm selling you wolf tickets, I'm selling you dreams. But I see it from the perspective of Ray, and I think this is an important piece of why we get to see Ray as a person, is we know where he's coming from when he says, I know how to sell dreams. I know how to tell people what my dreams are in such a way that they'll invest in me. That's the way I see it. Could also mean he knows how to convince people to buy the drugs because he can tell them that they're going to be this baller in the future by doing this now. So there are two sides to that, a more insidious side and a more goal-oriented, success-oriented side. And I think that's a trait that has to exist for a lot of people who are trying to make it out of the systemic oppression that happens in this country. The line, "and my consciousness eats way more than me," is brilliant. My consciousness is eating at me all the time. It's always eating dinner. It never goes to sleep hungry because there's always things weighing on me. The things I've had to do, again, to get out of this systemic oppression or to rise above it, you're never going to get out of it entirely in this country, at least not in our lifetimes, it appears. But to try to rise above it, I have to do these things. And my consciousness is going to eat at me forever.
Disaster in Long Beach, donate plasma. Would donate my sperm, but I can't cause I know how I feel to be bastard. And last night I only had sleep for dinner. Couldn't even afford a TV dinner. Not a banquet, a kid's cuisine, Marie calendar. Don't know how many days left on my calendar. Do you want it?
I like that calendar flip, Marie calendar, like the frozen dinners that you can get, to I don't know how many days left on my calendar. I'm still living in these streets. I don't know. None of us do. But when you live in that kind of situation, you have no idea how many days might be left.
Do you want it? I'll give it to you. Just like that, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Do what I want. Yeah. Do what I want. Yeah. Yeah. Do what you want. Do what I want. Yeah. Standing on couches cause I'm trying to fuck that bitch, bring the bottles to me. Y'all be in DMs begging these hoes, I feed off the dollar menu. Yeah. Started off broke, now I got that money on Blicky, I got it with me. Yeah. Y'all be in DMs begging these hoes, I feed off the dollar menu. Big forehead, big store.
He's flipped it. He's flipped it entirely. We saw the origin story. Now we're seeing what comes next and how the dollar menu relates to that. Now he's got the things he's been dreaming for better or for worse, because I think there's a case to be made for why it could be a bad thing to end up with these things, to get the bottles and the bitches. To get the bottles and the women and the money, the munyon, and he's feeding these women off the dollar menu. I have to think there's a metaphor for, or that the dollar menu is a metaphor for something else. Maybe the dollar menu is he's feeding these women off of the drugs that he's already said he knows how to sell. So maybe this is a portrait of the negative side of success when you're coming from a place where you're trying to escape that oppression. And I think that's set up by, we hear this voice saying, do you want it? I'll give it to you. That sounded like a warning of sorts. Like, you don't really want this, but I'm going to give it to you just so you can understand. Maybe similar to something like swimming pools from Kendrick. A lot of people thought that was a celebration of drinking rather than a warning against drinking. And I think this is a similar thing.
Hate rats, but I love hood rats. Wait, what's that logo on his hat? LA County, do you know it? Now I got that money on Blicky, I got it with me. Yeah. Y'all be in DMs begging these hoes, I feed off the dollar menu. Big forehead, big store back. Hate rats, but I love hood rats. Wait, what's that logo on his hat? LA County, do you know where you at? Take the order, make a Mick double back. Sitting at your window with a Big Mac. Ain't ashamed that I used to wear shacks.
I love he's playing with these rhythms. He's playing with his flows. I definitely, and I'm not saying this to be negative, saying that he's just biting Kendrick. I'm not saying that at all. But I hear the same exploration that I hear in Kendrick. I hear the same willingness to be more playful with the way he's delivering things. I hear the same sort of laid back flow while at the same time fitting into a pocket that the average rapper wouldn't have caught. So I think that's also part of why I love what Ray Vaughn is doing and why I'm looking forward to what's coming so much. He's not trying to be Kendrick. I don't hear that at all. But I do hear the same willingness to go other places. And that's one of the things that makes Kendrick great. It's one of the things that makes all artists great. Ray Vaughn's no different.
Cause I hit a home run, slide to 4 bats. Barry Bonds, when I do my look, every time. Pop out, got him
Barry Bonds,
every
bats.
Time. Niggas always cry wolf, every time. Putting money on books, every time. And it's like that. Gotta go out and never look twice at. Everything going good like a white staff. I been tearing through the city in a white cat. Standing on couches cause I'm trying to fuck that bitch, bring the bottles to me. Y'all be in DMs begging these hoes, I feed off the dollar menu. Yeah, started off broke, now I got that money on blicky, I got it with me. Yeah, y'all be in DMs begging these hoes, I feed off the dollar menu. Yeah, it's Big Bag Junior, Mr. Pie Scraper. I'm the Lord's.
There's a lot of little things happening in this beat, and the beat drops, when everything cuts out. There are these little like electrical sounds coming back in, these ad-libs in the background. It all makes for more interesting music, and not enough rappers are doing this. Not enough rappers are paying attention to those details. I think of a Tyler, the Creator, who pays attention to all those details, and you're not going to hear his music just looping unless there's a reason for it. Feel the same way about what Ray Vaughn is doing. Man.
Throw a lot of money, do a lot of saving. Don't tell that bitch, hey, my son, let's some shaded. Can't beef with my DMs, I made it. I can't check my DMs, I made it. I'm part of the motion club, I made it. Nigga, I'm me, you hate it. Look.
Now that is a thing I hear Kendrick doing that I really love, is a lot of rappers will try to be perfect. You can hear that they're punching in every line. What Ray is doing here, you can hear him getting a little out of breath. You can hear him going so deep into himself to deliver this that he's pushing up against that line. That's something I hear Kendrick do a lot that I wish I heard from more rappers. I want that soul in there in such a way that your voice cracks, or in such a way that you're almost getting out of breath trying to deliver this line because you're pushing yourself. I want to see the artists I love push themselves. Ray's doing it.
Roster might catch a bougie bitch leaving my Costa. Leaving the crib out. She want the tea, but she only gon' take off the shades of my shotgun. Just get a t-shirt. She don't fuck with scrubs, cause she want that body that she get from doctors. Come fuck with a whopper. Come fuck with a whopper. I'm standing on couches cause I'm trying to fuck that bitch, bringing bottles to me.
See, this chorus is different than the others. Details, man.
Started off broke, now I got that money on blicky, I got it with it. Yeah, y'all be in DMs begging these hoes, I feed off the dollar menu.
I love some of the lines here. I haven't even really paid that much attention to the lyrics themselves because I'm just so blown away by the song, the flows, the delivery, the beat. It's all coming together to be something really special, and makes me look forward to whatever Ray's got coming even more. She don't fuck with scrubs because she want that body that she get from doctors. That's a really brilliant line. The scrubs, doctors, scrubs also obviously goes way back to the TLC song. They explain to you what a scrub is, and he's bringing that language back. Do kids still say scrubs? I'm curious. I don't know. Maybe they do. Ray does. But saying scrubs, relating it to doctors, she want that body that she can get from doctors, really brilliant.
I gotta get a fucking job, dog.
Before we keep going here, I love the imagery on this song as well. Obviously, he's sitting at a little diner with a walk-up window, eating something out of a styrofoam container, but he's also got this chain on. So there's a juxtaposition that often happens when you are held down, that you want to have things that make you feel up. And you should. It's a great way to build motivation. It's a great way to pick yourself up. So I love this simple image for that reason. Let's hear what's about to be said here.
I gotta get a fucking job, dog. Listen to this voice my mama left me talking crazy.
This boy needs his money. You didn't have his money for a whole motherfucking month. You can run them whole games on everybody else, bitch. You talk that shit about get my shit together and here your grown ass borrowing money from a 17-year-old. He needs his motherfucking money. First of all, you had no goddamn business.
Moms ain't playing.
want to get my motherfucking child. Bitch, take care of that bitch baby over there and worry about that bitch baby, okay? Don't fuck with my kids. I didn't ask you to go get him and neither get his motherfucking daddy. You didn't confirm a goddamn thing with me. Stay the fuck.
She talking to the kid who needs his money now? Mom's just going at everybody?
Out of my kid's business. Quit going to get motherfuckers, you irresponsible bitch. Pay this boy his motherfucking money. Or I air your shit out.
For I air your shit out. There's also something interesting in Ray's titles I've seen lately that Cemetery Lanterns. What was the name of the other one? Yeah, Cemetery Lanterns, Flat Shasta, and now Dollar Menu all have these uppercase first word, lowercase second word. I wonder if that's just a stylistic thing, the way that he likes to write the titles, or if those capitalized words are going to mean something eventually when the album comes out. I could definitely make a case for Dollar, Flat, and Cemetery being linked, especially linked to the topics that he's talking about here in Cemetery Lanterns, Flat Shasta, and Dollar Menu. So I'm hesitant to say this, but so far what I'm hearing from these songs that have been coming out is a portrait of where Ray is from, similar to a Good Kid, Mad City, and Illmatic, maybe a Doggy Style, some of the great debut albums. I don't know, this may not be Ray's debut, probably not. I'm just not caught up on Ray. But what I'm hearing sounds like that. It sounds like a portrait of a place, and those are the albums that become classics. This has got the makings of a classic. Can't wait for more. All right. See you guys next time.